Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hutco Roofing, HutcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. Back in BR, back in the saddle today. Glad to be back. Hope you're doing awesome. Hope you all had a great weekend. Baseball Tigers did. They rule Central Connecticut again. They'll play Butler tonight, so 4-game series. They'll have Tuesday off and then play again on Wednesday against Grambling at the box. So a busy time for the Tigers. Good day for Chase Shores again. They extended him and his pitch count a little bit. He's worked himself into and out of some trouble, but the bats really, even on a day when Jay Johnson said he would like to have seen more, man, you pound out 13 runs and you rule a team. It's been a good weekend. Good weekend for the Tigers. NFL Combine, I'm sure we'll do a full recap on all the LSU guys. Most people are probably going to talk about Kayshawn, who ran 4.5 and then like 4.67. So vertical was only 29 inches. Not a great combine for Kayshawn. And oddly enough, Kayshawn Booty was on our flight home yesterday. So we flew from Vegas to Austin, where we had a layover, then Austin to New Orleans. And our flight from Austin to New Orleans, Kayshawn was on. So I guess he flew from Indy to Austin to New Orleans. Anyway, not a great day. You would have hoped for better. He's got some time before pro day now to get himself maybe in maybe better shape, run a better time, and see how that all proceeds. So, all right, we'll say some good mornings here, see what y'all got. Happy to have y'all aboard on this Monday. So, YouTube, please smash that like button. Facebook, like the page, share the post, and fire away. It's conference tournament week for basketball, so LSU will be in the SEC tournament this week, and very likely to play, its last game of the season. On Wednesday, they'll take on Georgia. So maybe they pull an upset and dance on, but they'll play Wednesday against Georgia. All right, let's say some good mornings here. See what y'all got. You know the drill. Kelly Gross, good morning. Stephen Bickham, Trey Fisher, what's going on? Good morning. Matthew Garner, good morning. Matt, love the polo. What's the brand? This is Callaway. Yeah, it's Callaway. It's a golf shirt. I don't know where I got this. I might have gotten this last year in New York, when we were in New York. I don't remember, but I might have gotten this in New York when Eric and I went last summer. Earl Lytle Matt, looks like nobody has a stranglehold on Saturday slot. Maybe Floyd. How come Shores only throwing 2 or 3 innings? Yes, Floyd, by the way, pitched very well on Saturday. Gave up the first inning homer and then was nails after that. I'm certain they're trying to give guys opportunities to start, to be part of a rotation, be part of the weekend. I think realistically, Riley Cooper was never going to be that guy because he's more valuable to you as a guy that can pitch multiple times over the course of a weekend. So we know Thatcher Hurd is a guy that has been starting in the midweek. And then Floyd, obviously, who didn't pitch much last weekend in Round Rock. It was an opportunity for him to extend on Saturday, so I like that they did that. And Hurd, of course, having pitched on Tuesday, likely wasn't going to come back and pitch on Saturday. So we'll see how maybe they start to stagger that. But yeah, it ultimately it feels like obviously it's not going to be Riley Cooper because, as we said, he's more valuable to you as a guy that can pitch multiple times in the weekend out of a bullpen. But either Floyd or Thatcher Hurd, you're talking about 2 guys. Let them see how it plays out. And You get a couple of great options there. If one of them takes a stranglehold of the job, think about like what happened at second base, right? I mean, you had really good options there with Dugas and Guidry or Napolt or Merrifield. I mean, you had options, and was going to just play it out and see who ultimately takes command of that job, and it's Gavin Dugas. Oh, and then you asked about Shores. So Shores went 3 2/3. It's been intentional that they're only letting him go. Like initially, they were only letting him go one time through the lineup, and I think there's a couple of reasons. But yesterday he did extend. He threw 73 pitches yesterday. Went 3 2/3. So he went twice through the lineup yesterday, or maybe one hitter shy of going twice through the lineup. But I think there's a couple of reasons why. I think obviously he's a freshman, so you don't want to overwork him early in the season. You want to build him up to conference play. That's one. Two is by the time you get to Sunday, I think they've wanted to get a lot of guys work. So, Ackenhausen pitched. Griffin Herron came in, and loaded the bases. Not great. Garrett Edwards came in, and got you out of the jam. And then Little came in and pitched the seventh. So, I think a big part of it is they're getting a lot of guys work in those Sunday roles. Let's see, Brad David, good morning. You concerned about Keyshawn's poor performance at the combine? Look, I think Keyshawn had a lot to gain had he gone to the combine and blown it up. But I think he's got enough film where, he'll be a day 2 guy somewhere in round 2 or 3. But ultimately, I think his poor performance this season on the field, or let me say his inconsistent performance on the field, it's probably a huge reason as to why we've seen him go from a guy projected maybe to be the first receiver taken to a guy that's a day 2 pick. So I don't know that the combine was going to overcome that completely, but for him, it's going to be a thing where he's got to have a good pro day, and then wherever he gets drafted and gets into a camp, go and make plays. Show you can do it on the field. Tim Gautreau, Spurge, good morning. Brian Wynn, good morning. Cliff Nelson, good morning. Wendell Norman, Jay Reach, give Jones a rest day. Let Beloso start tonight. Yeah, I'm good with that. Cade Beloso had a great weekend. I love seeing that. I'm very biased, of course. Cade's dad, Rodney, a.k.a. Hot Rod, is part of our Hudco team. And Cade is a Hudco hometown hero, so he's one of our ambassadors as well. So I love to see him do well. Everybody knows his story from a year ago, where he tore his ACL on opening night when he was going to be the opening night DH. But, got a pinch hit situation last night, or yesterday, I should say. You love to see I'm sorry, I lost my place on something real quick. You love to see Beloso go in yard again. Really cool, just to see him have the success he's having in the role he's having now. So I'm with you. Yeah, let Cade play first, and you want to give Jones a night off. I'm cool with that for sure. And by the way, like we've talked about, Beloso keeps hitting the way he is. He's going to earn more ABs. Yes, I'm good with Jared Jones playing a lot, but he was 0 for 3 yesterday with 3 strikeouts. So, and he's a freshman. There's going to be days where that happens. There are days where that happens to everybody in baseball. But yeah, Cade Beloso's earned the opportunity to play more. I would agree. Let's see. Ronnie Duga, love the shirt. Thank you. How was travel? Travel day was good, man. It was easy. Got up. Vegas airport was, there were like 4 people in the security line when we got to the Vegas airport. So we got there giving ourselves plenty of time thinking it would be crowded, and it wasn't. So easy flight to Austin, had about an hour, and then flew to Nola, drove home. So the most annoying part of the entire travel day was getting out of the New Orleans airport, because the traffic on Loyola getting to I-10 coming out of the New Orleans airport is a cluster. It's like one lane. So way to go, New Orleans. You know, you spend all this money building a beautiful new airport and you screw up the infrastructure around it. Yay, Louisiana. Smash that like button if you would. On YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Reed Rule, Morning Scone. Last time I was this shocked about a UFC loss was Rousey losing at home. You know, Reed, we were talking about that yesterday as far as the biggest upset loss. Of course, Valentina lost. She was I think she was minus 800. This was a championship fight against number one contender. She was minus 800. So, huge favorite. I think when you look back on it, the Rousey thing isn't that hard to... Ronda was so dominant, but she was really a one-trick pony. I mean, she was a great judo champion, so it was hip toss armbar, you know? And when she started facing more well-rounded fighters, she was in trouble. And Holly Holm was legit, and Holly Holm head kicked her and knocked her out. I mean, so it wasn't, in hindsight, easy to understand how that could happen. Chris Weidman beating Anderson Silva has to be up there. Yeah, but it's a short list. It's a short list. Jason Mobile, good morning. My bad on the dunks. Didn't realize you were traveling. Didn't hear from you. Says, all good, man. No worries, man. Brad David, how big is the sports betting in Las Vegas at BetSites? Yeah, I mean, it's huge. You know, every casino has a sports book, and you know, it's fun. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love to be able to just pull out my app, tap to make a bet, and collect whatever. It's so much easier. But it is pretty cool. I like to go up to the window in Vegas and place a bet. Weston Weaver, Jesse Brown, Morning Matt, looks like the Saints are still $18 million over the cap. What are the cap casualties you think we will see? So, Jesse, honestly, I need to catch up because I saw they made some moves over the weekend. I don't know. I know which ones can be, like Andrews Pete could be a cap casualty. I mean, there are other restructure candidates. Excuse me. Well, and you know they're going to cut Jameis, so you know they'll cut Jameis. They'll designate him a post June 1 release. I think that saves him like $12 million. Andrews Pete they could restructure as well. Or I'm sorry, Andrews Pete not restructure. He'd be a cap casualty. I'd have to go back and look and see which other ones they've done. My apologies to not be prepared for that, but I will be today on AFR. But Pete and Jameis are two obvious ones. Because remember, it's not just get under the cap. You've got to give yourself enough room then to pay your draft picks and potentially sign free agents. Sign your own free agents. So it's not just get under the cap. They've got to give themselves more room too. Trivia Carter, good morning. Think Cade should start over Joe Bear. The tricky part with that is that I don't know that I want Cade starting in the outfield. It's not to say he can't play the outfield, but I think you have better options in the outfield. I mean, Trey Morgan's playing great. I mean, maybe your better option is keep Trey Morgan in left and let Kling play right, play Beloso at first base, then DH Joe Bear and Jones on whatever rotating basis you want. Let's see, couple more. Whoops. David Coslin, good morning. Jeff McKithen, good morning. Bubba Smith, what's going on? Mark Vitanovich, good morning. Morning. Shelby Kelly, Charlie Cavell, Trey Patang, good morning, y'all. Let's see how was UFC experience. Awesome as always. I say it often. It's as far as being in person, there's nothing like the energy of being at a fight. It's just, that's the sport may not be for everybody, may not understand the technicality of what's happening. It's fine, but just the energy of being in the building for a fight is just different than any other sporting event. Mark, $35 million a year for David Carr. Is that too much? I think so. Kelly Presley, Tyler Alexander, good morning. Let's see. Shelby, love days like today. Plenty of baseball and UFC talk. Great start to a Monday. There you go, Shelby. I love it, man. Let's see. Mark. Why pay Carr 35 when you can have Dalton for 8? Because Carr's a better player, but I'm with you. I don't know that it needs to be binary between those two. I think you'd have other options as well. Scott Barnes, good morning. And gotta go. Devin Kelly, I think John Jones is going to destroy Stipe and everyone else they put in front of him. Man, Devin, it was striking how big of a human John Jones was on Saturday night. I'm so used to seeing him at 205, like cut and abbed out. To see him at 250 and as thick as he was, and to dominate a large human like Cyril Gane was pretty impressive. But he's 35 years old, man, and that's the big difference when you are in the heavyweight division, man. Heavy hands, and if you get clipped, it's night time. So there's always that chance. But I agree with you. I do think he'd beat Stipe. Cajun Country, Saints take Jahmyr Gibbs and Hendon Hooker, top 2 picks on the road issue. We are more worried about renaming college courts. Gotcha. And I'd be good with Gibbs and Hooker. I think the Saints certainly need to address defensive line, but I'm good with the 2 you mentioned. I'd be good with those players as well. Damon Gilmore, Migo Tez, I think Kayshawn can contribute at the pro level, but is trending toward not being drafted at all. That's not true. No. He's going to be a day 2 pick. Bailey C, looking to get some Navy court visions this weekend or Chocolate Forces. Cool. Both great choices. Dalton, morning, Maddie. First live Scone in a while. Let's get real for a second. What's the realistic expectation for LSU football? Spring coming in hot. Yeah, spring practice starts Thursday. Excited about that. Realistic expectation, I think, realistically, they could make the playoff. I think that is a realistic expectation. Brian Penn, good morning from Youngstown, Ohio. Oh, the cradle of coaching. Leon Williams, Brett, I've been to 2 UFC pay-per-views live, and you're right, you cannot know anyone on the card. It's still one of the most exciting live events you can experience. It is true. Okay, I think we are done. Mark's asking about the CBI and Detroit Mercy. I think they got to wait till Selection Sunday this weekend, but I know that Detroit Mercy, that we talked about it last week, there's a possibility that Antoine Davis could play in the CBI and break Pete Maravich's record if he plays in the CBI. So we'll wait till Selection Sunday to see how it all plays out. All right, we're done. I got to get Drew up, got to get him to school. I will ask not one more time. I'll probably ask a bunch more times. Best of 225. Your boy was nominated again this year for Best of 225. That's 10 years in a row, but I finished runner-up like every year. So I won it once. Would love to win it again. So I'm going to go ahead and post the link in the chat. If you would, just click the link that I just posted for the Best 225. Go to Best Radio Personality. Would appreciate your vote. And then also Best Radio Station if you would vote for 104.5 ESPN. You do not have to live in Louisiana. You just have to enter an email address to be able to vote. So please do so. Would appreciate it greatly. All right. Thanks so much, y'all. Have an awesome day. We'll get you an LSU Daily coming up a bit later. And AFR 3. Great to be back in town. Hope y'all had an awesome weekend. And we'll see you later for AFR. Peace.